This is my second successful week of the challenge, so we're off to a good start. So this week I didn't do any sewing. My sewing room is out of commission for the time being. We're painting it and putting a new carpet in, so it makes it a little difficult to have all my fabric and projects strewn around and creating creative chaos as it usually is. But hopefully we'll get that finished soon and I'll be able to start sewing again. But this week I used some of the time that I'd carved out for creative time to make paper dolls, which is one of my favorite hobbies, pastimes. I've been doing it since I was a little girl. I started out with paper dolls made by Tom Tierney, who is my favorite paper doll artist. But my sister and I quickly branched out from playing with his paper dolls to tracing our own outfits from his dolls to drawing our own dolls and outfits, and I've continued doing that ever since. So this week I introduced my little girls to paper dolls, and so these are some of the examples of what we were playing with this week, and an example of their coloring. They enjoy coloring and learning how to use colors and pens. They're only 2.5, so they have lots of time to learn and grow, but it's fun to see them learn new things and enjoy a hobby that I enjoy. Paper dolls are one of the few hobbies so far that I can share with them. I can share a little bit of baking and cooking with them, but a lot of the hobbies I do have more dangerous elements, like sewing with needles and pins or making soap with lye, which you don't want a 2.5-year-old around. So it's fun to have some small hobbies that I can share with the girls right now and see them get excited to be engaged with it. So when I'm drawing paper dolls right now, I use my Kindle Fire, which is the tablet I have, and the Android app that I use for drawing is Infinity Painter, which I believe does a great job. So this is one of the outfits I drew this week. I like to make outfits for imaginary lands that I've created, and so I use a collection of inspiration from all over the world and all throughout time, so I can kind of meld together different styles, different items of clothing and different practical purposes of clothing, so that I can create something that appears new but also makes sense to the mind, where you look at it and you think, oh, I understand how that is. It's not completely foreign to me. One thing I love about paper dolls is that the creative options are endless. If you can draw it, you can make it. It'll happen. And one thing too is that you don't have to be a great artist to make paper dolls, especially if you start with someone else's doll. Really all it is tracing, and so if you print out a doll and then you can trace outfits for them, all you have to do is be able to trace the lines that are already there and then use your imagination to add pockets, add buttons, add a skirt, do trousers, do a shirt. So there's so many different ways to do it, even if you don't think that you draw very well. And especially if you're doing it with your kids, they don't care if you don't draw perfectly well. They just love doing something with you. I wasn't even intending on coloring the paper dolls with my girls, but when I printed this stuff out and we got them set up in 2 different coloring stations, I was going to go wash dishes, and both of them grabbed one of the papers that I'd printed out and put it in front of a new chair and gave me a pen and insisted that I sit down with them and color. And so it was fun to have them want to include me in there, and that's what more important than whether you're a great artist or you're incredibly creative or you're the best home decorator. If you're interacting with your kids and encouraging them to be creative, they want to be with you doing it. They don't care if you're perfect at it or if the results are going to be Pinterest perfect or Instagrammable. They just care that they're spending time with you and that they're doing something fun with you, that you can enjoy what they are enjoying. So I encourage you to join your kids in their activities, and sometimes it's worth it to put your chores on hold for 20, 30 minutes so that you can just give your kids just that time to see that moms can draw too, moms can play with Play-Doh too, and that you enjoy playing with them. It's not always just you do this while I go do something productive, but that my time is also well served when I am having fun with them. I think that's important for them to know. But, well, that's my ramble for the day. I hope that you have been able to find time to do something creative this week, and I look forward to meeting you again next week to tell you what I've been working on and thinking about for creative plans. And I hope if you've done something or are planning on joining with this challenge, that you'll post in the comments and let me know what is on what you've been doing that is creative. I would love to see what you've done. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you next time.